Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. Today we are going to be doing our reset for the month of March. I've grabbed myself an iced coffee and I've made it extra strong today because I just needed that little bit extra caffeine. So I've got myself one of these Moleskine notebooks. This is the A4 size and we are just going to plan out our month of March. I'm so excited. I love goal setting and resetting and all of that jazz, and I haven't been able to do it the last few months because I haven't felt well since New Year's Eve. Different things have been going on through the family, so we're finally ready to sit down and plan out our month of March. So grab yourself a coffee, grab yourself your notebook, and let's get to it because March is quickly approaching. So today is the 25th of February, so I've got a few days just to get my head together and think about all the things that I want to aim for in March. And then that'll be the end of this first quarter of the year and we'll be moving into the second quarter, and it's just like, whoa, where is this year going already? So I want to sit down and really get serious about what I want to achieve this year, because I feel like I've already missed out on 2 months worth of kind of heading for my goals. So that's a bit of a pain, but never mind. First thing I'm going to do is sit down now and just plan out what my goals are going to be for this month. So I'm going to look at my annual goals list and see what I can take from there, set it out as a monthly goals list, and then I'll break it down into weekly goals and create a habit tracker for that.
I don't think that you know I'm trying hard to show. These days it's hard to tell what's on your mind. Why don't you stop pretend like this is what we planned?
Okay, so for my health and wellness goals this month, I've got to lose 4 pounds, do 10,000 steps per day, work out 3 times a week, and walk 5 times a week. These walks are also part of my spiritual goals because I would really like to do a prayer walk 5 times a week if I can. So I'm going to incorporate those together. Read my Bible daily. I do that anyway, but I like to put it down as a spiritual goal because it's something that I know I can achieve and it's something that always brings me closer to God. So I think it's important to always be there. I want to read this book which is called Praying Like Monks, Living Like Fools. I've heard really good things about it. It's not particularly thick. It's 247 pages, so I should have no problem finishing that in the month of March. Then I've got church every Sunday. I do manage to make it there most Sundays, but sometimes I'll be tired or whatever and I'll just make up an excuse and not go. So I want to try and go every single Sunday, and I want to finish the Alpha course. And then for work, I'm doing a lot of courses on the Hygge in the Early Years website, so I want to get them completed. I want to complete my medium-term plan for the whole of spring terms, so it makes my life much easier. I want to upload 2 YouTube videos per week through the month of March and try and grow my YouTube. And I want to post to Instagram 5 times a week. And then I'm thinking about creating some sort of website or Facebook page just so we can have a little bit more of a community going. So let me know what your thoughts on that are. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I just know that it's something that's kind of in the back of my mind that I would really like to do. So that's there, and that's definitely something that I will be thinking about in March. Those are my overall what I'd like to achieve in March. So now I'm going to break that down into weekly tasks, and the way that I like to do that is on an app which is called InCharge. It looks like this. Okay, I'll actually put a screen record in here so you can see what it's like because it's actually really cute, and you can change the color theme, so you can have it, you might want to have it in a green or a neutral. I personally love the pink, so I'm just going to keep it as pink. So I'm just going to pop in my to-do list here. So I've got read the Bible. I need to do my 10,000 steps. Okay, so next thing will be prayer walk, recurrent, and we're going to do read book, post to Instagram. Okay, so those are my daily to-dos, and then up here if you press the add new event, this is how we make sure that we've got events in. Okay, so if we go on Sunday the 5th, I've got church already in there, great. Have I got Alpha course? No. So I need to put in here the Alpha course. I can't type. I've got these new nails on and they're like super long, so I can't type. So this is on the 3rd. This is not an all-day event. This is from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Perfect. It is a repeat event every 7 days. And then that'll go on every Thursday. So if we click to Thursday now, there it is, Alpha course. And on a Sunday, we've got church. Perfect. So another thing that I really like about this app is you can track your water, your steps, and your sleep in it, which is really handy to do. And you can then track it across the weeks like this. You can also add journal articles in here. You can title them and just write your little journal in here. You can do a gratitude section. It has prompts ready for you. So what's something you're looking forward to today? What relationship are you grateful for? 3 things you're grateful for. And then you do it again on the night time. What made you smile? What is something that is better today than yesterday? And what is something you experienced today that other people take for granted? And then you can also update your mood there. Sometimes I find that easier than writing down. And I often do that once my youngest child is asleep and then Dan is often putting Ryan, my oldest child, to bed. I'll just sit on the couch and just type up about my day. Usually it's only when I've had a bit of a rough day and I just want to get things off my chest. I can just sit and type it into my phone and then I'm like, it's out my head, and I feel a lot better doing it that way. So it's a really handy app and I just love the aesthetics of it. It's just right up my street. You do have to actually pay for that app though. It's not too bad. They reduced it because it was something like £10 a month, but I think now it's something like £4 a month. I personally don't mind paying for it because I'm motivated to use it because it's so pretty and it has everything that I need on there. Okay, so now that I've worked out my weekly goals and my monthly goals, I'm going to spend some time doing my budget now. I use the Every Dollar website. It is free, it is fantastic. It has additions if you want to pay for it, but you don't need to. And it just stores all of your budget information from the previous months and you can just make quick changes. And it's just the most efficient way I've ever found to do my budget. So I'm going to spend some time doing this now. It's really important for me to budget because we are trying to save up for a house. We're currently renting and we want to be homeowners again. So we are trying everything we can to just make our budget work for us. I am also getting a new car this month. I'm currently driving around in a little tiny Fiat 500, which I love. It is so efficient and easy to get parked and things. Unfortunately, it is just way too small. And when I've been trying to fit both boys in, plus their bikes, plus our bags and things, it's just almost impossible. Or it gets filthy dirty because I have to put the bikes in the back of the car rather than the boot. And then it just creates more stress than it's worth. So I am planning on getting a much bigger car this month, so I need a budget for that as well. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, I've finished my budget. I've also updated my calendar with everything that I've got going on this month. So now I'm just going to quickly go through some monthly favourites with you. So I've just put up a video of all of the Christian books that I read in January and February. So there's no point in going back over them, but I will quickly go over all of the non-Christian books that I read. So I have been really enjoying Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I read Daisy Jones and the Six. This follows 2 stories that come together, which is a band called the Six and a girl called Daisy Jones. I recently watched the TV show Nashville and this just kind of reminded me of that. It's very music oriented and it's just a really easy read. I did enjoy this. I found Taylor's writing to be very easy to read. If you're in a reading slump, you can pick up one of these and finish it within a day or 2 and you're back on kind of your reading track. So I really like her for that. All of the books that I've read by her have kept me hooked and I've read them really, really quickly. Malibu Rising is probably my favourite out of all of her books that I've read so far. I loved this story. This book is based on some siblings and it's focused on one day in their life and a lot happens and it's just a really good, easy read. This one is such an interesting storyline. So what it does is you've got this girl, she goes to a party and then she has a choice. Does she go home with her ex-boyfriend or does she go home with her best friend? And then each chapter shows you what would have happened depending on which scenario she chose, and you don't know which one she chose. So it's, if she went home with her ex-boyfriend, this is what happens. And if she went home with her best friend, this is what happens. And it's really interesting to see the story unfold on both versions of her life, and you're kind of like, oh my goodness, which one's the truth? Which one did she end up choosing? It's a really good read. I really enjoyed that. I also read this one, which is by Holly Jackson, and it's called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now, I think this is a trilogy. Yeah, it is. So I've only read this one. So I've only read this one so far, but I will probably pick up the others. This is your typical murder mystery where the case is completely solved from beginning to end. You are with the detective trying to figure it out as you go, and the clues are unleashed as you read each chapter. And this one had me hooked as well. Really recommend this one. I randomly picked this one up in the supermarket. I'd never heard of it, and it's a little bit creepy. You're not sure what's going to happen. The lady in the story buys a house. It's called The Last House on the Street. The lady in the book buys a house. Weird things start happening, and you're just kind of reading through the book and thinking, what on earth is causing all of these things to happen? And it does keep you on your toes, but it's not by any means one of the best thrillers I've ever read. I'd probably give it like 3 stars, 2.5 stars maybe. Yeah, it's not something to rave about. This one, Ugly Love, I started and I didn't finish. I thought it was rubbish. I would give it a 1 star. And then I had high expectations of this one. I have heard so much about Sally Rooney. I know that there is a TV show based on this book, and I thought it was okay, but really controversially, it's not something that I would rave about by any means. I get that it's based on conversation and that it's kind of true to real relationships, how we might think things, but because we don't communicate properly, life doesn't go the way we want it to, because we should have just said how we were feeling, but we didn't. And I get all of that, but this actually put me off reading anything else by Sally Rooney, to be honest with you. Basically, it's just not my cup of tea. I know loads of people love and rave about this, but yeah, I found it quite boring, to be honest, and hard to finish. So those are the books that I've read so far this year, bar the ones that I showed in my previous video, which were the Christian. I'm off to a great start with my reading. I'm really enjoying reading again and just finding that time. It's usually on an evening where I can just fit in some reading, and yeah, it's been a nice little escape for me. And then, like I say, I want to read this one this month. It's my main focus, but I've also got Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, which is a collection, I believe, of sermons that he gave on TV on BBC. I was recommended this one by a guy in Waterstones who said it was amazing, so he gave it to me for half price. I read the first chapter, loved it, got into the second chapter, closed it immediately and put it down, and I'm going to return that book because that is just not something that I want to read. I'm not going to go into it, but you'll know what I mean if you know about that book. Then I've got The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This comes highly recommended and I'm quite excited to read it. I also really like the cover. Then I've got Beach Read by Emily Henry, and After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I'm most looking forward to because, as I've said, I really like her as an author. So that's my little collection for March. We'll see how we get through them. You know, next month how I got on with them. And then I think I'm going to actually finish this video here. I want to get this edited and uploaded as quickly as possible for you. I know it's a much shorter version than my usual monthly reset. I actually don't have that much to go over this month because I'm not reviewing goals or anything. I'm literally setting them for the year. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. I really appreciate every single one of you who subscribe to my channel. And please like this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
Watch me under the light, so keep me in your sight, 'cause I